Thanks for coming back to the table. You know we like to switch things up a little bit with the tables when you got a few options, especially when we're talking about the importance of knowing your blood type. Physician Dr. Frita Fisher insists it's important that you know for a bunch of medical reasons, just your overall wellness. And joining the conversation, Adrienne Price. She's a culinary wellness nutrition coach with a focus on blood type health and healthy eating, right?
Yes.
Everybody calls you AC.
AC, that's my name.
So listen, I think that this is important to bring the two of you into the space and talk about what we should know. But Dr. Frita, I also know that you wanted to make sure people understand it's not a fine, direct science, but it's always important to kind of help and understand, right?
Absolutely.
All right.
Yes.
So let's talk about these different blood types and what can help.
Okay, great. So the beauty of all the blood types is that plant-based whole foods is going to be primarily what you're going to want to have into your diet anyway.
Okay.
But there are just certain focuses because when the blood type is applying to what we're eating, there are proteins that are in foods called lectins. And with the blood, it can affect the blood and make it thick. It agulates with the blood.
Okay.
So that is how...
It agulates it means thick. It just means
it's just the thick in the blood, right? And so what happens is when you eat certain foods, it thickens the blood in some of the blood types, causes inflammation, causes pain and different illnesses at the same time.
Okay.
So eating foods that will make the blood more balanced and more not thick, if you for lack of a better word, that is what's going to help for optimal health.
So let's talk about what some of the options here.
Okay, so we have O blood type, which is the original blood type. Okay, old, if you will. And it started out with hunters and gatherers. Okay, so that was the meat eaters. So this is the O blood type, and mainly meat is the focus of a lot of their diets. We have some rice here and some spinach.
The grains are always going to be important. I kind of feel like that's kind of a consistent thing that we see here too. Right.
Complex carbohydrates, but more so on the non-dairy aspect of it too. Because if you think about it, when the origination of man, there was no dairy in regards to refrigeration or things like that. So this was a non-dairy. So a lot of O blood types have an aversion to dairy.
Interesting. Okay. All right.
And then we have our A blood types, which is more of the migration. And so this is where it's more of like a vegetarian type of diet. And so the butternut squash, we have mushrooms where we can get the protein from, as well as salmon, but there's no actual meat that is going to be beneficial for the blood type, for blood type A's. So they're mainly like on a vegetarian type basis. Okay.
And what do we have here?
And black beans. And so because the A blood types don't necessarily have the animal protein, we tend to be lack in B12. And that's where a lot of you get your animal protein, but the protein in black beans is what's going to be good for you.
Gotcha. And before we get to B and AB, the ABCs of understanding all of this, Dr. Frita, is that there is sort of a common denominator here. The grains, having a balanced diet, but not a lot of processed food, right?
Not a lot
across
of
the board.
foods. So in all of the blood type diets, that's one thing. It's real food, it's unprocessed foods. I do have to say that as a medical doctor, you know, I'm always looking at the science. There's not a lot of evidence supporting it, but when you're dealing with diets that have no or very low processed foods, when they have lots of healthy foods, lots of grains, then pretty much when you look at the diets, each one can be healthy. But I'll give you an example. There was a study done in 2014 with the type A diet. And in this diet, there was lots of fruits and vegetables, not a lot of meat. And so everyone with A blood type did great. They had improved markers. But people with AB, O, B blood, all of them did well on that diet. And so you have to consult with your doctor to find out what works. But yes, having foods that are not processed, the grains, the balance, and you'll find that in each of the diets.
I appreciate that expertise and the perspective here, because this is really what so many of our families are looking at, right? We're looking at holistic approaches, we're looking at traditional medicine, and sometimes how we merge them.
We integrate. We integrate. We use food as medicine, and sometimes medicine is medicine.
Exactly. Let's talk about B.
Absolutely. So with the B blood type, it's kind of like the balance, okay? So you're going to have your balance of some meat protein, turkey, for instance, and then absolutely the vegetarian diet as well that we'll have. So you have your plants and you have the and the B for the balance of the blood type. And quinoa is the perfect protein to get that protein when you are going to be lack in animal protein. So that there's a lot of vegetables where you can get your protein. I get that a lot. A lot of people want to know, like, well, if I'm just going to eat vegetables and, you know, how am I going to get my protein? We say black beans, mushrooms, and quinoa is a perfect protein for
and
that.
then AB, can't forget the AB on there.
AB is more so of the more modern blood type of a combination of the A and B as well. And those are like grains with the A and B. So lentils are going to be great for that. We have some turkey breast here as well as oats. And so that is pretty much the
a general way to look at it, right? But that's why, again, it's important to have a conversation with your physician, with wellness coach, and really just knowing your body, right? We all know that thing that we eat, and then your knees are like, wait, what's happening? Why am I feeling all the sodium from that in my knees, right? So we got to be in tune to what our bodies are telling us about what it is we eat anyway.
And nobody knows better about your body than you do.
Absolutely. Okay, so listen, I know we got a little blood test.
We did.
It's been a minute. I thought.
What do you think you are?
I think I'm B positive.
Do you think
I think so. Well, because I remember when I had the babies. Right. 122 years ago. And I thought it came up, you know, so it was 17, they're 16 and 18 now. I thought it came up that I was B positive, but I keep thinking I should really know this, right? Just as we get older, in case you're in a car crash. I mean, it hasn't happened, and I'm grateful for it, but if you just never know when you're going to need a transfusion.
Absolutely.
Right.
Well, if you are going to get a transfusion.
Yes.
You are A positive.
Get out of here. I am completely wrong letter of the alphabet.
You
I got
are.
the positive.
But you know what? When we were talking, you mentioned about how you don't like steak with, you know, you were getting it for somebody in your family and that you don't usually eat that.
Right.
Well, that would be the perfect context for A. And so while this is a good guide, ultimately, like dairy, I don't propose a lot of dairy because mucus is, you know, is in dairy.
But then there are others who say it is good source of all kinds of calcium.
But you can get that in spinach and kale and a lot of your green vegetables as well. But at the same time, that A blood type, a lot of times my clients will be food that they don't even care for, which is really not.
That's interesting because I don't really crave meat. Interesting. Right. Okay. All right. Good.
So it's not a definite. Yeah, but I got it.
Okay, good deal. Listen, this conversation is going to continue after the break. Dr. Frita with her expertise, AC with her expertise. Good conversation, more information coming up. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I really want to thank you for season 3 of Portia. It's because of loyal viewers like you that we keep getting to share this daily dose of positivity all across the country. So just a reminder, I still need you to like, comment, and subscribe, and go ahead and tell your friends. You can catch us now in Orlando, in San Francisco, in Atlanta, and all across the country on Fox Soul. Tell your friends. We'll see you soon on Portia.